Hello and welcome back everyone. It's Complicated Relationships Reddit Stories. Hope you guys are safe and healthy. Now let's see what the story is about today. In today's story, OP says, I ended up with her phone and did a quick review and found out texts I hoped would not be there. We started dating in fall 1997. We go out on dates with each other, then other people, then back together and began spending more and more time with each other, and by the summer there was definitely an us. We were happy and married in 2002. Spent the first several years together having fun and had our first child in 2007 and another in 2011. Been in a happy and committed relationship for 21 years, coming in on 17 married. We always knew that the marriage is never perfect and it has its highs and lows. We are both musicians and always equated marriage to a good piece of music. We always shared this sentiment with budding couples of newlyweds. Just roll with it and embrace it for what it is. If you don't have the lows and the fights, you aren't really living an authentic relationship. Haha, we had all figured it out. Right. We had some recent stress. After living our entire lives in one region, we decided to take a jump and move to another part of the country. This followed by a layoff within the first 18 months, leading to another move even further from home. We have now settled into our new home and found out the company that we moved here for no longer has a home for us in it. This led to another job change. This has been hard on my wife. Now, here where it all went wrong. I have been suspicious of something going on for a while now and had begun really losing sleep on the issue. It began with an anecdotal story in July of last year about a co-worker on a work trip in Vegas that had been sharing very intimate company insider information with my spouse. She indicated that he should not have been telling but was drunk and perhaps a bit lippy. Based on the nature of the relationship, I pointed out to her and was a bit prickly when she mentioned him again and passed it off on a friend relationship and that there was nothing to worry about. And then, as fall came around, there were more and more tells of something off. A change in grooming habits, some new lingerie, and some other little pieces. The biggest was one night while we were intimate, she began to cry. I couldn't figure out what exactly was happening. She mentioned that she was going through some stuff and might even act a little strange for a period and not to take it to heart, just give it some space. Well, all of this added up in my mind and I asked her several times if there was something going on and if she was seeing someone else. The night of Christmas Eve to Christmas, I decided I needed resolution and would take matters to my own hands by looking at her text on her phone to find evidence. Christmas morning, while breakfast being cooked, in the glow of torn wrapping paper tossed around the Christmas tree, I ended up with her phone and did a quick review. I found the text I hoped would not be there, and the only words I remember seeing were, I cannot take you being all over me 1 minute and ignore me another. I was devastated instantly. I couldn't breathe, I couldn't stand, and I couldn't talk. My son was in the room and asked me, You okay, Dad? I stumbled into the kitchen and told her I found a message on her phone. To her credit, we walked outside and talked through it. She claims to have given me the blow by giving the full disclosure. 3 total events. Once in his apartment in another state where he was relocated, she was visiting for work while her company moves. She went over to cook hot dogs for a restaurant concept. He came behind her and she leaned in and kissed him back. They made out and she claims they stopped it there and nothing else happened. Next time was 2 days later in the other office in the other state. The last time was in the local office on 12/14, 11 days before I found out about them. Later that week, she let me read the entire text exchange back and forth between them. She and I both know this is only a part of the story. They were able to talk in person, email and work IM. I have not seen any of these other communications. From what I read, it appeared that it was not a physical one so far. She told me that they were done. The relationship was done, but for work they need to communicate and they would still be in contact. She indicated that they would work through intermediaries. However, that clearly devolved and they were rather quickly back to email and IM. I told her that I needed to know that they were done. She needed to take decisive action to end the relationship so I could sleep at night and find a path forward. Needless to say, and to nobody's surprise, I was crushed. I was hopeless and in despair. I was not angry with her, but kept asking the question, why? Why did this happen? I have done nothing but love her and be patient. We had fun together and knew when to give each other space. It was a success where others have failed. We returned from the trip to the other coast to visit our family for the holidays and, after a couple of weeks, set up couples therapy. This was surprisingly a chore for her. I picked out a list of therapists and told her who I like best. She told me she wanted a woman and took her time picking out one. We went to our first session and it appeared that we were in a locked step to find a way forward. However, we stepped on a bit of a landmine. While our therapist was discussing the process, she said the phrase, "This is what we will do if this is what you really want." For some reason, that triggered my wife to question what she really wanted. She needed clarity on why she chose to act on her urges and attraction to another man in spite her marital relationship with me. She asked for a pause on the couples therapy, pointed that each of us needed to work on ourselves first. She mainly needed to answer the question why. This was crushing to me. How could she not know what she wants? Couple this with the knowledge that in spite of my repeated and clear request to end the relationship with him, she was still carrying a friendly relationship with him. Then the further blows come in that have absolutely crippled me. Number 1. Thursday 1:17. I'm taking my kids to basketball practice and asked her to join me, but she says she's going to work late instead. I drive by the office seeking a quick hug and a kiss, and her office is dark. She's not there. I confronted her on the issue and she claims she had just run out for a wax appointment that she forgot. Number 2, Friday 1:18. I find the image of a text from him, "Hide in the kitchen if I promise not to kiss you." Her response, "Count to 10. I confronted her and tell her to end it or I'm moving out the next day. When we meet up later, she says, "I took care of it." I find out days later she did nothing. Number 3, Monday 1:21. She texted him and a group of friends at work. I don't know the details of the text, only that she texted him. Number 4, Wednesday 1:23. She returned early from a business trip. This is unheard of from her since I've been with her a long time. I might remember a handful of times she came early from work, let alone a business trip. Number 5, Thursday 1:24. She goes to happy hour with work friends to celebrate a peer that was leaving. She says in advance that he might be there. She later admits that he was, but she ignored him and they did not interact. That night she turned off the GPS on her phone and I could never find where she was. Number 6, I later find a text to 2 friends who were going, urging them not to flake out, that she had planned this happy hour only because he was there and that they needed to come too. Not this BS story that he might stop by. She planned the event especially for him to come. Not only she beat me down with the initial infidelity, but she continued, giving me this repeated trauma. I've talked to my therapist about this and I am going to be okay. I told myself I loved her too much and I needed her in my life. I must find a way to trust her and give her space while she seeks out clarity with her therapist. This crucial insight is paramount to me. I want her and I want to find our way forward, but she has to be 100% in it, not just because of an obligation or comfort with the kids and I. I reached out to a friend to find a place to stay. Then Friday, she let me know that she has taken action to end the relationship with him. She spoke to him in person in the office on Friday and told him that they could no longer have contact with each other. She told him that she is making a choice and that they were no more. She even offered me evidence in a text from him saying farewell and that they had each blocked the other's numbers for texting. I should be elated. I should be happy that there is an indication of hope for a shared future together, yet I am doubtful. She is still the captain of her own domain. What stops her from acting out with him or with someone else again? Can I live with myself that I allow her to deceive and disrespect me? How can I know that she's not taking my love for granted? End of part 1. If you are enjoying the story so far, please give a thumbs up. And now, here is the update 1 year later. It's been trying to struggle forward ever since. She cannot break contact with her AP, and in spite of given 3 months to figure out herself, and she now asking for a separation. I get it, we loosen our connection and only interact with the kids, but other than that, we aren't married? How do you cope with what one or the other of us does while separated? This whole concept makes me want to vomit and really messing with my head. Update 2 years later. There is no recovery. I remember how disheartening this was, and I just wanted hope and encouragement. People were saying that I was doing the pick-me dance. You know what? They were not wrong. She continued the affair, and despite thousands of dollars on therapy, she kept her relationship alive. And now, after 2 years of heartbreak and a year of separation, we are getting divorced. She has not worked at the same company since last spring. Outing her to the company, it's not an option. I'm not informing the AP spouse of what has taken place. At this point, we are divorced. Within weeks, it will be final and not worth any fallout. I am moving on. If he wants to sort out his own marriage, that's on him. Thanks for listening. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Please like and share the story if you enjoyed it. Also, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you will be notified when we upload the next video. Take care.